Bro, dude, Trump, hold on, wait, here we go. Ooh. Trump is so fucking stupid, right? He is so dumb that he ends up being based, right? These reciprocal tariffs are incredibly funny because you look at it and you're like, what the fuck is he doing? This is not like for a capitalist, this is really fucking stupid. But as we all know, fascism is capitalism in decay, right? This is what we know. We know this. We know that that's what this is, right? We know that Trump is a fascist. We know this by all of his policies, by the way that he is doing things, right? The literal idea that the fact that the guy that he helped buy his election is doing Nazi salutes, right? His Secretary of Defense has Nazi tattoos, right? They are Nazis. They are fascists, but they are not traditional Nazis, right? Because here's the thing. The Third Reich was a unique form of fascism. It was not isolated. It was not a fringe ideology, right? Because if Hitler hadn't existed, somebody would have come after him, right? There was this really fucked video of like, what if Hitler had defeated fascism? Or what if Hitler, blah, 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 right? It doesn't matter, right? Because if Hitler hadn't existed, right, there would have been somebody in Germany post-World War I, after everything that happened with Paris and the tariffs, I think, I'm forgetting the word right now, but like how the inflation fucking skyrocketed, right? This is what we Marxists like to call material conditions and historical materialism and the likes of what leads to these things to existing, right? Now, yes, Hitler was an evil man, right? But he is a product of his conditions around him, along with being the right person born with the right kind of shit that just so happened to be like the perfect storm for Nazi Germany, right? Because I've talked about this before, right? Before we get back to the tariffs, I've talked about this before, that I do believe that people can be born bad, right? If people can be potentially born good and like instincts and the like can be quote unquote moralized to be good and or in appearance, then yes, there are people that can be born bad. I mean, look at psychopathy, look at ASPD, look at all these other things, right? Now, I'm not saying that these are bad things, but they can be construed or be used as excuses to do bad things, right? Because when it comes to me and my view of socialism, I am not an economist, right? Purely of all this other shit. I think it's dumb for people to consider themselves Marxist-Leninists and only focus on the economic part of theory, right? Because you don't understand what both Marx wrote about, then Lenin wrote about, and then Mao himself wrote about, because Mao, if anyone, had a lot of moralizing in his writings from time to time with things like the different types of liberals there are, right? Or the justification for the Cultural Revolution. It was the before the Cultural Revolution occurred in China. But like you can see that there is ideologically, not just economically, something opposed to capitalism because it is separate from it, right? And I just think that if we truly want to separate ourselves and liberate ourselves from these apparatuses, we have to understand that there is, ethics attached to these, or the idea of not just economics, but like actually doing something because you think it's good to help other people, right? As much as moralization is often weaponized by liberals, that we still should have, not like a moral high ground or anything like that, but still be doing it for the good of people, because it is a good thing to do, to improve their material conditions, to liberate them from capitalist infrastructure, not because of people accidentally misconstruing the whole thing that, oh, we're labeled as workers, not because it's a tongue-in-cheek reference to the fact that everyone under bourgeoisie capitalism is to be exploited, right? And it makes us all, the same, and everyone is in the same boat, right? Because we're all being exploited. But they're taking that as a literal thing of meaning that everyone should be workers, which is not at all what that is about. But anyway, I know I'm rambling, and if you have questions, I'll hopefully try to properly put my full thoughts in the comments on this. But back to the tariffs. He ends up doing something based by accidentally putting, not only being really dumb and putting 10% tariffs on 2 uninhabited islands off the coast of Antarctica. Those penguins are fucked over, and so are those walruses. But then he put a 17% tariff on Israel. Trump, you said you fucked with Israel. You said you fucked with them, right? Like, Israel is a U.S.-backed state project. It is the puppet into the Middle East for the United States of America. And you just put fucking tariffs on them. I swear to God, did this guy literally just put tariffs on people that aren't America and have them be descending, right? I haven't even looked at the full fucking list yet, but from the ones that I saw, they are so funny. Like there was the China one, which was like really high, and I think if I remember correctly, Cuba was also on there again, which they get fucked over again and again. Material conditions of why socialism supposedly fails, it's because of outside things. But like it was so funny. And I wonder if this wasn't some like fucking AI generated shit, right? And it was actually done and like made by either him or the people around him, that they put it on Israel, either one, ideologically, or two, it was just to kind of like, it was just for show. That was it, right? They just did it and, moved on. Like they called up Benjamin from Ohio, right? And was like, hey, you mind if we put reciprocal tariffs on you, but we'll still like completely like help you out because Israel doesn't actually really export anything into the U.S. or whatever the fuck, right? Well, I guess there is the weapons, right? With like, Israeli military shit, right? It was IMI, right? And Israeli Military Industries or whatever. I forget the actual fucking name of it. But like, it's different to put 17% tariffs on Israel, where nothing really comes out of there to the U.S. At least compared to places like China, right? Which is like, okay, why are you putting it on China? Obviously, we know why, right? But they're not going to be affected. We're U.S., the U.S., not we, me, and the U.S., just the U.S. are the ones relying on fucking China for its exports into the U.S. So I don't know why, what he thinks is going to happen. But again, we all know what he's going to try and do. He's trying to bolster the U.S. by bolstering U.S.-backed or U.S.-based corporations, right? He's trying to privatize shit. He's trying to turn it into a full, like, actual corptocracy, right? Where it's actually, like, the federal government no longer does shit, but it's actually being ruled properly by oligarchs. And I say properly as in not being done through, like, a second layer with, like, lobbying and the like. It's just being directly done. By them, which has happened for like ever, right? I mean, as far back as like the fucking 1880s, right? Where the U.S. government bought a huge mass amount of John Browning's. No, it was a contract with John Browning and then Colt too. Like that is like a perfect example of the idea of like relying on corporations and capitalism instead of like having to be state backed or state produced or the likes, right? Because it just bolsters capitalists and the system and the likes. So yeah, that's what Trump's basically trying to do, right? People are really worried. They're like, oh, well, what about all the federal employees? They're just going to be rehired, right? I got into a talk the other day about people being like, but what about the humans that are going to? They need humans to train them. No, they don't. They don't need humans. I mean, it's a good thing to have humans train you, but to these people, they will cut as many corners as needed, right? They will just have like robots or pamphlet printed out to do the bare fucking minimum of training so that it's a constant cycle of getting people in and out of that job cycle, right? So that's just that they're going to do. But anyway, if you want to support me, I have a Patreon down below. I know this was another Deku rambling thing. I know I've been posting a lot on here. It's honestly because it's just been such a whirlwind of what the fuck is going on in the U.S. that like something happens and then something again happens, and I'm like, do I want to sit down in front of a camera for like 3 hours just recording everything and then posting? Yes, I do. But my sleep schedule hasn't been the best recently, so I haven't had a lot of time to do that and then focus on the stuff over on the main channel and the likes. So yes, thank you all so much for watching, and if you enjoyed, leave a like down below, and while you're down there, like, comment, subscribe. Don't be a fascist in the comments, or I'll send a pipe bomb to your house. Not /J, not /SRS. Bye.